MacCormack. Give it up for Hannah.
What's up, Broadway Comedy Club? I had a good week. I celebrated my half birthday. Yeah, I'm 25 and a half, which means I have 6 months left of my parents' insurance, and I'm an attention whore. Yeah, I'm 25 and a half. I've never had a boyfriend. That's not a joke, I'm just throwing it out there. And I'm sure you're wondering, like, how could that possibly be? Like, what could possibly be wrong with this hilarious, lukewarm piece of ass? And you're gonna find out. For starters, I went to Catholic school my whole life. I see we got some fans of Christ. Nice. Peace be with you. Everyone there was just like me, from a nice, Jesus-loving white family, with a dog running around the backyard and a closeted gay dad screwing twinks on the weekends. I'm kidding. He's into muscle bears. I'm proud of my dad for coming out. I really am. I just can't imagine how hard that must have been for him after 20 years having to tell my brother and I that our gaydar has been completely off this whole time. Like, devastating. But what a way to teach your kids not to lie, right? Like, listen, kids. One time I lied, and I got so caught up in that lie that you both exist now. Had to pay your college tuition. Yep, that wasn't a cheap one. Yeah, I still love him the same. Of course I do. He's my dad. Just now he's got others calling him daddy too. It gets a little bit confusing. So it's been an adjustment. Like, I've had to come to accept that my dad has a bigger collection of dick pics than I do. And that I don't know for sure, but I only have one on my phone and he's in it. It's not his dick, guys. It's a photo of us with Donald Trump. Did I mention he's also a Republican? Yeah. I liked The Apprentice. It was pre-election. It's different. It doesn't count. But yeah, in my heart, I'm still a nice Catholic schoolgirl. Growing up, I always looked up to Mary Magdalene, of course. If you don't know who that is, the Bible called her a prostitute, but I always like to think of her as more of an entrepreneur. A real girl boss for her time. Like, so what? She didn't give birth to Jesus like that other Mary. Like, I'm sure she hit that. That should count for something. Like, she's just in bed yelling like, Jesus Christ! And he's like, hey, that's me. That's cool. Like what you did there. But I don't agree with everything the church has to say. Like, for one, I think that priests should be allowed to have sex. We all know that most of them are having it anyway, and the homilies would be much more interesting if they could just talk about it. Church would be like going to brunch with my girlies. Like, listening to Father Kevin talk about getting dicked down on a Sunday morning over a meal of bread and wine. Hallelujah, Father Kevin. Can we make it bottomless? You know, that's my fave. Yeah, but that sounds more interesting than most of the brunches I go to, because not only was my school Catholic, it was all girls. So we're a pack of what you call late bloomers. The most action we saw in high school was when one of our classmates would finger blast herself underneath her kilt in religion class. Now that I think back on it, though, I can't say I blame the girl. Like, getting nailed on a cross does sound pretty kinky. Then I went to college, and every girl on my floor was Jewish, so it was the diverse college experience I had always dreamed of. And also terrifying. They were swapping stories about giving blowjobs at bar mitzvahs, and I was so embarrassed because I was 18 years old and so naive. Like, I had to ask what a bar mitzvah was. And the blowjob's still unclear, but like, I'll figure that out eventually. Yeah, so on the first day, there was orientations for all the various religious groups on campus, and everyone I had just met was going to the Jewish one. I was the only God squatter in sight, and I mean, I was sick and tired of chilling with those prudes my whole life anyway, so I just packed up my 16 years of Catholic education and jumped aboard the Jew train. Not that kind of train, let me clarify. And so, we're circling up. I'm ready to whip. I'm like thinking to myself, like, Hannah's a Jewish name. You'll have them all fooled. Like, they'll think the crucifix necklace is ironic, right? Yeah. So I'm like, it's about to come to me. I'm ready to whip out the only Jewish jargon I can think of. I'm like, shalom. I'm Hannah MacCormack. I'm from Short Hills, New Jersey. Kosher, yep. And the leader looks at me and she goes, oh, no way. What synagogue do you go to? And I, just like that, my cover was blown. But what was I gonna do? I was in too deep. And if there's anything I learned from my dad, it's how to live a lie. That's my time, thank you.